the old ball game.
Holy cow!
That momentary lapse was a rain delay in there. That was the reason for that. I think Bob Ghetti is joining us. Bob, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Paul. Great to be back on your show. Thanks
It's good. Good to have you, my man. USM playing in the Sun Belt Conference Tournament. Tell me about that, and what's the itinerary, and how's it going to happen?
It's a great event, Paul. It's held in downtown Montgomery, Alabama, which is a beautiful place down on the river and full of history. They play at a minor league baseball stadium. The Montgomery Biscuits play there. It's called Riverwalk Stadium. The Golden Eagles last year was the first year in the Sun Belt, and they won the tournament, so they're the defending champions. They're scheduled to play tomorrow afternoon at 12:30. And they'll play one of four teams. There's sort of I guess like the SEC tournament, they have some play-in games, single elimination games, and Southern Miss will play one of the two teams that survives the single elimination. Louisiana is the number one seed, and they will also play one of the two winners that comes out of that play-in. So Southern Miss fans don't know who they're going to play yet. It will either be Georgia State, Coastal Carolina, Old Dominion, or South Alabama, one of those four. That game's scheduled to take place tomorrow at 12:30, and the tournament runs all through the weekend with the championship game set at 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. So going to be a great event. We're looking forward to covering it for our stations that carry the Eagle Hour. And, Paul, there's nothing like baseball, and there's really no state in America that loves college baseball anymore than this state, as you well know.
I think we got our credentials on that from the last few years for sure, but always. And some of the great baseball players from the great state of Mississippi, certainly from the southern area, like Wiggins and a couple of Dean boys down in that area. So Boo Ferris, we go on and on and on. William Carey also headed to the NAIA.
I don't think you can say enough about that, Paul. This is the second consecutive year that William Carey University has made it to the NAIA College World Series. Just a tremendous accomplishment. Great team, long-time coach there, fine university, probably the fastest-growing university in the state. Their first game, and they're playing out in South Dakota, believe it or not, their first game will be at 8:30 Friday night. I'm happy to say that the SuperTalk Hattiesburg station will be covering that, and our very own Caleb Hamill will be doing the play-by-play. So
how about that?
We're very, very happy to be associated with William Carey and having the opportunity to broadcast those games. You know, Paul, William Carey sort of operates in a shadow down here. I think that's fair to say with the division.
Well, not anymore, because we got a fan who sits with all the dials and switches here, and Lance. Lance is a William Carey fan. Are you not, sir?
Oh, of course, man. Those guys, I've known quite a few to play there. I had a good buddy that did, and it is a storied program, and they are on a 2-year run, man.
Lance, it's really remarkable, isn't it? The College World Series back-to-back years. I think that accomplishment is very, very hard to make.
At any level, getting that far, especially in baseball where there's so much parity, man, that's you got to be proud of them, and you know that they're playing with their hair on fire today.
How many students do they have at William Carey? I mean, I'm just curious. Anybody have any idea? How many students are there at William Carey?
That's a good question. I'm going to say there are around 5,000 students, 5,000 to 6,000 students. And I may be off there. If I am, I apologize. They have a campus as well down near Biloxi on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and with a medical school and, pharmacy school. William Carey is a remarkable story and really a great university here in Mississippi.
Certainly, you remember after the storm damage and everything else that went on, but I mean it's from the head honcho who's been on the air with us more than once to the coaching staff and everything else, all first class people, and they've really got it going on.
Oh, it's a great school. A little known fact, maybe outside of Hattiesburg, is Steve Knight is the basketball coach at William Carey, and he is the all-time leading, winningest basketball coach in Mississippi history. A remarkable guy, was a two-star athlete at Southern Miss. Actually, threw a no-hitter as a pitcher at Southern Miss and has gone on to have a absolutely storied basketball coaching career, and a wonderful human being is Steve Knight, for sure, Paul.
Yeah. I got to tell you, it's such a privilege and a pleasure to be, not located in just one single solitary place in our state, but be SuperTalk hometowns all over the state, and so proud of so many. Look, we just in the last couple of 3 years, the entire Pine Belt area is looking good, and man, how many good things have we heard about going on in Hattiesburg?
Yes, Hattiesburg, the Midtown development in Hattiesburg has been a remarkable success. The downtown Laurel, Mississippi renovation has been a remarkable success.
Hasn't it? Yeah.
The Pine Belt is a vibrant, growing, active place. Really, in some ways, has outgrown the infrastructure in some areas down here. But what a wonderful place to live. Paul, a lot of people move to Hattiesburg to retire into this area down here. The weather's great. You're right 50 miles from the Gulf Coast, and you got 2 universities. So there's not much not to like here in South Mississippi, Paul.
Yeah, and if you don't want to be on the coast, but you like to be that close to the coast, you can grab your lawn chairs, and within due time, you can be on the coast. So it's not a bad, or in New Orleans for that matter.
No, that's exactly right. And Mobile is really not far as well. So centrally located and just a wonderful part of Mississippi. I'm really honored to work for SuperTalk and manage some of the stations down here.
Bob, when you start looking at it, and we take this for granted, but the influence has been one that it's taken a while, but it's been there. A lot of people moving into the southern Mississippi area who were exiled because of the damage of Katrina in New Orleans, and then a lot of them just stayed, didn't go back.
That's absolutely correct. It dramatically increased the population. I'll reference back to what I said about infrastructure a little bit, and that's part of the reason. But you're right. I guess the trauma and the tragedy that occurred down on the coast was just more than they wanted to deal with. They moved up here really, temporarily. I think 99% of them with the intention of being temporary, but ended up staying here. And as a result, we really have a booming and growing community here, no question.
Yeah, and the jambalaya gotten better over the generations too. So that influence has helped.
The food isn't bad, Paul.
No, it's not bad at all. Especially people like Robert St. John down there making diets even more impossible. So
we eat a lot of seafood down here. Let me just say that.
One more time, the broadcast on both of the outlets there for both USM and William Carey.
All right, Southern Miss plays at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. That's the scheduled time. William Carey is scheduled to play at 8:45 Central Standard Time Friday night, and that game will be on 97.3 at Hattiesburg, WFMM, and on SuperTalkHattiesburg.com.
My brother, it's good talking to you. Haven't talked to you in a while. Thank you. Call us anytime.
Always good, Paul.